YouTube vinyl community, Hollies fans, random people on the internet, my name is Giggens, and we're here today to talk about the Hollies' American debut, Here I Go Again, Memphis, Stay, Just One Look, no, it's called Here I Go Again. A fantastic debut album, released during the height of the peak of the British invasion in the United States in 1964. This thing cranks all the way through. This particular copy is a 2010 mono from Sundazed. So I'll give you a close-up of the sticker there. And it's kind of an abridged version of the Stay album that was released in England. Very common in different countries, and especially in America, to take an English album and then break it up into different things. With this one, they took off 5 songs. They took off Baby Don't Cry, Mr. Moonlight, What You Gonna Do About It, Little Lover, and Candyman, and replaced them with the 2 singles, Here I Go Again and Stay, or I'm sorry, Just One Look and Here I Go Again, and the B-side, which is the original track, Keep Off That Friend of Mine, the B-side of Just One Look. So it's a really nice little setup here, because the American albums were also a lot shorter than the English ones. There's only 12 songs as opposed to 14. I love this thing. The whole way through, you're bopping, you're dancing. It's just a fun, rockin' time. And the thing about the Hollies that I feel like a lot of people forget these days is their early stuff, I feel like, is just as impressive as their later 60s stuff and the stuff they would do after that as well. But I'm always kind of working with the Graham Nash era. Their vocals were unfreaking believable. So they would take a song that was like, you know, done by everybody else at the time, but add that 3-part harmony on there and you're just blown away. Like, these guys in the Beatles, in terms of British groups, you can't beat them in terms of vocal prowess. Unbelievable. Bobby Elliott on the drums is crashing away the whole time. The bass is freaking nuts. I mean, it's exactly what McCartney would do like a year later. I feel like this group was so expertly professional in wanting to be the best band that there could be, and they really show that off. So I mean, for people who bought this in 1964 when it first came out, they must have been mind blown to hear something so rich and colorful and just vibrant the whole way through. I love this album, if you're keeping up with me here. So it starts off with Here I Go Again, the title track. And those cheery harmonies break right in. So again, if you're hearing this for the first time in the 60s, it must have been like, wow, these guys can really sing. The super tight drums, the chimey guitars. I love the Fallen in Love outro. It's just a classic song. And for me too, really getting into this album has been a lot of fun, because I feel like the Hollies in America were always known for their greatest hits. And when you discover their albums, you really get blown away by how many great songs there are buried on those albums that were probably huge in England or other countries, but in America, just didn't fly. You know, over here in America, you had Bus Stop and Carousel and Carrie Ann. Those were like some of the biggest things they did. Great songs. Their cover of Stay, the Maurice Williams song, holy moly, this song is just slapping you in the face. What I like about them too with their covers is they always speed their covers up a little bit, so it's just a little more rockin'. So you can imagine being on the dance floor in the early 60s as the Hollies are playing live, and you're just grooving the whole way through. You know, when the night's over, you're a sweaty mess. Like, it must have been so fun dancing to their stuff live. Those magic harmonies again, the drums are having a great time. You know, the guitar solo rips along. It's just a fast-paced, great little track. You know, to take a song like Stay, which we've heard a million times, and have the Hollies do it, damn, it's so good. Memphis, I mean, the Chuck Berry song, yeah, everyone did that, but their version is very cool. Faithful rendition, but with just enough of a kick to separate it from the original. They really know how to not necessarily reinvent a song, but put a different magic or different energy into it to make you so, your ears just perk up as you hear it. You're like, wow, I love this song already, but holy moly, Hollies are doing it. Lucille, same kind of thing. The unique take on the vocal delivery is really cool, where they kind of change their, not the timing or the speed, but the delivery is slightly different than the original version, which makes it their own. It makes it sound very Hollies, but just a super tight group. I mean, they must have rehearsed constantly to have that kind of gel with each other. You Better Move On. This one, finally, the guys get a break, and I think the listener gets a break too. It's a little bit of a reprieve from the insane bounciness that's been happening off the last 4 songs. This song is cool because I really feel like the main focus of this track are the vocals, where like everything else kind of plays a little bit more simpler in the back. Not that they're not dumbing it down or something. They're just kind of taking it back a notch and letting the vocals really be up front. And because of that, you get that sort of Everly Brothers style harmony, and that really stands as the the moment where you're like, man, even if these guys had no instruments under them, they can really hold their own. Really cool. And then Talking About You, everybody did this song. I mean, one of my favorite versions is by the Stones, and kind of what the Stones did was kind of give this representation of that, not slow blues, but like a really chill blues. This version is super sped up. It's almost like they were nervous, or they had a certain amount of time to be in the studio and said, all right, let's get this done. That bass line, that walking bass line is killer on this thing. I think I might actually like this version a little bit better than the Stones, but I love that Stones one. Side 2 opens up with Just One Look, which was a big single for them over in the UK, and over here as well, which kind of got them their Imperial record deal. But a wonderful example, on this particular pressing anyway, of Sundazed Records quality control. This song in particular sounds so good. What Sundazed did was what they do is they source the original master tapes and they do their magic to it, and they press them so expertly. So you get a real quality sounding disc out of it, which is so much fun to listen to. But this song in particular sounds amazing in its mono presentation. And as for the guys, it's just expert precision the whole way through. It sounds like they've been a band for 30 years. They could pick up any song or any instrument and just nail through it. Keep Off, That Friend of Mine, an original track here by Tony Hicks and Bobby Elliott, the only original on the album, actually. And it carries that tradition of what they were known for with their covers. It's got some really great start and stop breaks. The harmonies are fantastic. The drums are popping away. It sounds like the Hollies, really. I mean, it sounds exactly like they were doing with their originals, or their covers, which was to make them sound like their own. So it makes sense to write their own music at this point. Rockin Robin, probably my least favorite song on the album, but only because it's probably not one of my favorite songs anyway, but they do a really good job with it. It really is hopping and bopping the whole way through, and I mean, it can barely catch its own breath, so they definitely put their own spark in it again, and again, the bass playing is nuts. Do You Love Me, the Contours cover, holy moly, what a random choice to pick. I'm sure if I lived in the 60s, I would have saw every band at every show play this song constantly, but being in 2022, it doesn't feel like a lot of bands cover this song. Maybe because the original's so good they don't dare touch it, but they do a good job with this one. It's fun to hear them do it in the Hollies style, if you will. What Kind of Girl Are You? I love the drums on this one. Bobby Elliott, man, top-notch drummer, really truly is. The harmonies on this one are just magic, and the song features so many parts with just vocals. You're almost left speechless with how good they are. You can imagine them just sitting there rehearsing together and being like, yeah, we're good. We know we're good. And then it ends with It's Only Make Believe, which is a nice slow dancer to close out the LP with. Smooth, soft drums on this one. Just a pleasant song. Nice little sing-along guitar solo to it. Really enjoyed this one. Here's the back cover. Faithfully reproducing the original. And they reproduced the original Imperial Records label too. So yeah, I mean, it's no mystery that I absolutely adore this album. It's for a debut. Yeah, I feel like with some bands with debut albums, you're kind of like, all right, they're still getting their feet wet. It's gonna get better from here, and with most of the time that's the case. But with the Hollies, I feel like they started off guns a-blazing. They were just from the onset, they were just ready. They were just determined. They had been a band for a few years anyway before they got picked up and put on Parlophone, but to hear them play so damn well, as a musician myself, you pick up on those things, and you can hear them gelling with each other and playing off each other, and they know what's going to happen next. And when you have that kind of chemistry with somebody, to make music with them and to know what's going to happen, that's rare. And these guys were extremely talented. You know, they made some of the best records of the 60s, and I feel like these days they're a little overlooked beyond their singles, in America anyway. Maybe in England it's different because they were from England, but over here in the States, they're definitely a greatest hits group. But if you've never heard one of their albums before, you might as well start from the beginning anyway. Or you could do Stay with the Hollies, the original English one. But honestly, if you get a copy of this, you will not be disappointed. It sounds fantastic. It's super clean, really good bass, crisp drums. The top end is super clear and crisp. I've repeated myself several times, but you get the idea. It sounds awesome. So that's it. The Hollies, Here I Go Again, easily a 9 out of 10 album for me. Just a grand slam. There isn't one bad track on it. Rockin Robin's my least favorite, but it's still done really, really well. So there you go. My name is Giggens. This has been the Hollies, Here I Go Again. Yeah, great stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.